Hi, I'm Linda Deir, the author of Guided. Her spirit guide angels were her best friends and life coaches. Guided is my true life story and winner of the 2017 International Body, Mind, Spirit Book Award. Since before I was 2 years old, I've seen, communicated with, and even photographed my spirit guide angels. In Guided, I use my own life as a template to teach you what I learned from these loving, intelligent spirits. Most importantly, I show you how to make the connection to your own spirit guides and angels so you can live a guided life. A life free of fear and doubt. The life you intended to live before you got here. We become best friends. Our friendship was effortless. This is when you were at the height of your bliss. I will take you back to the time when your best friends were your spirit guides and angels, and when your connection to them was at an all-time high. This was the most blissful state you would have with your spirit guides and angels before outside pressures interfered. So, let's get started. You realized we were always with you. Although we were never loud, you heard us. You never felt alone. You felt loved. It felt natural. You felt no separation between you and us. You knew things and felt happy all of the time. Nothing was missing in your life. Our friendship was effortless. This was the environment that set the stage for you to learn at a higher level. We didn't teach you anything, but we did present things to you that would inspire you to experiment through a natural curiosity, causing you to reach for more. You were at that magical sweet spot in your life where no one questioned you or interfered with your bliss. A time where your connection to us was building strength while learning who you were. You were learning the right things and you were learning them fast. You didn't think about or question how this was all possible. It was a natural state of being. Although you were learning on a higher level quickly, it was easy and fun to learn this way. This is the time in your life that your connection to this blissful state was the strongest and would become the baseline when you got lost later on. But you didn't know that then. This would become that lost connection you would long for later in your life when searching for the real thing once again. This early connection in higher learning time that you experienced with us would become your internal compass that you would be able to depend on throughout the rest of your life. Your well-developed internal compass would let you know when you needed a course correction. This would inform you when it's time to get back on your path. The path that leads you to your desired destination, guiding you to your life purpose. The reason you came here this time around. With this internal compass already set to give you a clear direction, you feel its ups and downs. The ups happen when you follow your bliss that you perfected so early in your life. The downs are filled with struggle as you get drawn into the competitiveness and disconnection with everyone and everything going on all around you. The ups are a fascinating moment-to-moment experience and never loud. The downs are disruptive and shout at you all of the time, making you feel isolated and alone. The ups place you in the zone, focused, connected, and filled with inspiration. Are you beginning to remember what it felt like to be in the present moment with ease? Do you see how your compass produces sweet and sour signals for you? Do you see why? All you need to do now, at this time in your life, is to remember how to trust your compass once again. If it feels bad or wrong, then stop yourself right where you are and objectively examine what is going on. Write into your journal what stopped you, and then what you discovered. By following this system, you will be able to prevent painful compounding lessons. You did not come into this life to struggle or suffer. You came here to live a purposeful life, a meaningful one. That early time in your life when you were one with everything, resisting nothing, it all felt like you. You weren't separate from anything. Recall those feelings when you first learned all of this, when it was effortless, before you became concerned with what everyone else thought or said about you. Write down what that was in your journal. This will become your reference point, what you need to recall when making a course correction. It's so easy, a baby could do it. It's so easy, a baby did do it. It's already inside of you. It's your internal compass that is well developed and still there, ready to guide you with precision.
I've been thinking about this. We talked last week about the relationship grew, and this week we're talking about your best friends. Your relationship grew into your best friends.
Right, and this one's called We Become, in the journal, in My Guided Journey, the companion journal to Guided, where we're on the 5th page for We Become Best Friends. Okay.
So each week we're going to do a page and tell them how they get this book.
You can get it right off of the website, lindadeir.com. That's Linda, DEIR.com. And it's right there on the homepage, free download for My Guided Journey. And you can download it and print it right away. It prints in the mini size, that's a half-page size, or it prints in the full-page size. So it works in all printers, okay? Black and white, color, doesn't matter.
And this is a very different journal, right? It's not just a book of blank pages where you just put a date and write what you want. It's like in 3 parts. You want to tell them what that does?
Okay, so the first part, it just explains how it works. Explains how this journal came about, that it's a work in progress, and how it works. And the second part is the page 1 through 18 that take you through the process of remembering how you got where you are from where you came. That's why at the end of this, I said, in the opening, I said that it's so easy a baby could do it. It's so easy a baby did do it. You did do it. And you just need to remember what you did so that as you move forward, you fill out these 18 pages. We help you by doing these videos each week to expand on what these little worksheets are about, so you guys can really connect with it and go back to that time in your life. And you only have to write it in here one time. Once we have it on paper, once it's in your journal and it's documented, it goes nowhere. You've got it forever. I guarantee you this is something you've never done before. And I guarantee you this is a result that's beyond anything you would ever expect. That's the result of doing this, okay? So it's worth it. And then in the third part,
third part, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's when the heavy lifting is behind you, Ray. You got all that. You figured you realized how you got where you are from part 2. Part 3 is, and Ray, what is this?
My guided journey begins. Now, these are the pages where you write down the guidance that you're getting.
Every single day.
Right, every single day.
And night.
And the pages ask you questions as you go along. Right, like, I can't see from here, but can you tell them some of the questions?
Well, anyway, instead of getting into the nitty gritty of this, get my guided journey off my website, all right? And really, instead of spending a lot of time doing it, we're going to get to that last part when we get to near the end of these in November, right? But right now, they just need to get the journal, don't you?
Okay, get the journal.
Get the journal. And if you guys have questions, we are always here to help you with that.
And work with us through these 18 weeks of live videos that help you get back on track.
That we do on Thursdays right here on Facebook Live, okay? And you guys are always welcome to join us. We encourage that, and to ask questions or leave comments. So before we move on, Ray, do we have any of that?
Well, we have a few hi, Linda and Ray's, and but I have my questions ready.
All right, Ray, you go right ahead. All right.
All right, so this best friend relationship is the only relationship that you brought with you when you came here.
Right.
And you go back to it when you leave here.
Imagine that.
It's just in the middle is where you get it all messed up.
Well, that's where the challenges are.
Okay.
You know, the speed bumps, you guys, that's all, you know.
All right, so what does it mean to have this best friend relationship? What are some of the requirements of a best friend relationship?
What are they?
Well, I would think that you would have to trust them. You have to trust somebody. You have to be able to, they're dependable.
Ooh, dependable.
They're dependable.
Yeah.
They're good listeners. Your best friends are good listeners. You can ask them anything, right?
And why can you ask them anything? Because
you trust their judgment. They don't judge you.
There you go. There you go.
You trust
and
them.
they don't make fun of you.
They accept you.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, no matter, there's nothing that's stupid or anything like that. Right.
They actually love you because you're you, and that's really the only
They
reason.
like that vulnerability about you.
Okay. So, what is it about the spirit guides, angels, that makes them your best friends?
Okay. Everything that Ray mentioned. Okay. That they're stable, they're dependable, you can trust them, you could talk to them about anything, they don't judge you. Okay. And more. And so much more. Okay. They're there. It's amazing that we even have this in our lives. It's just that we may not either know it, or if we know it, we don't know how to utilize it. We don't really know how to connect with it in a reliable, consistent way. All right. Your spirit guides and angels, you could not try to talk with them or communicate with them or ignore all the intuition and guidance that they send you for 50 years. And it won't matter to them. You can pick up right where you left off, wherever that was in your lifetime or before you got here, and maybe you never really acknowledged them that you remember in this lifetime. And just keep going like they never existed. And they have no trouble with that at all. Now, you try to do that with a friend, and your friend wouldn't be your friend. They wouldn't consider you a friend if you ignored them for 50 years. In fact, they'd forget your name, all right? But your spirit guides are, the instant that you want that connection and you open up, it's not them that's broken off from you, it's you that's broken off from them. And the minute that you open up, they're right there. There's no time for them. It's like time didn't even exist for them. It existed for you because you're here. But that's the difference, okay? And they're always there, no matter what. Good times, bad times, fair weather friends. You hear about fair weather friends. They're only there when the weather's good, when things are great, right? Your guides are always with you. And they don't see successes and failures as successes and failures. They see that as your evolution, your progress, all right? They see everything on a higher level than we do, okay? So what we do is we bring up, when we remember how we originally learned, which was It was amazing how intelligent it was that we learned. We don't even remember what that was all the way. Some of you will remember more than others, but it was quick, it was easy, it was now, it was solid, it was a baseline for the rest of your life. It was there to anchor you, and so you wouldn't get too far off course either way, and that's what it's there for. So your guides, they're always with you, no matter what. No matter, you can't do anything that's too bad that would run them off. They will not go anywhere.
So on a smaller scale, let's say on a this world scale, not the relationship, best friend relationship you brought with you they remain solid, even though you may not hold up your part of the bargain. Let's say you have a best friend that you went to school with and you went to college with, and you kept in touch with them, and you saw them go through their ups and downs, and they saw you go through your ups and downs, and then that kind of drifted apart, kind of like as you separated from your spirit guides. It drifted apart. Maybe one of the friends got married, moved away, whatever. But what happens always is when that new relationship goes down the drain, that marriage didn't work out or whatever, the friends get back together. And it's just like getting back together with your spirit guides. You find you have a relationship with everything. We talked about that last week. You have a relationship with everything. Your job, your friends, your clothes, your car, everything you encounter in life, you have a relationship with them. When that relationship fails, you either try to revive it, rekindle it, or you change course so you don't have another bad relationship.
Okay, so I think where Ray's going is when you have a relationship here in this world, like Ray said, you experience all these, let's say, childhood memories, and then you go to school together, college together, and then life happens, and then off you go to a different college, or a job opportunity takes you out of the country, or you get married, or whatever, things happen. You have kids and stuff, and your lives just kind of split off, and it's not that you don't care about each other, just life happens. So as life happens, and then it all shakes out. So whatever you got involved in, you learned your lessons, it kind of, things make sense, but everything changes now. Your relationships changed, your jobs changed, your kids grew up, and whatever happened. Now you're like, you're starting over again, that type of feeling. Now that you learned all that, 20 years of it, 30 years of it, whatever it is. Now you start thinking, I wonder what happened to my friends from school. I wonder how they're doing. And it's a good thing to do, because you go back and you compare notes and you see what they learned, how you learned, how you were friends before, what happened in between, and it helps you understand who you are even more. It's always good to, look back and put it all together. It does make sense of all this. But when you get back with your friends again, things changed. The relationship is rarely just picking right back up where you left off, very rarely. But that's what it's like with your guides. Say it's all these years went by, and finally you're back to looking for the real thing again, just like you were when you looked up your old friends. You're back to like rehashing what's going on and taking a bigger view of things, right? Well, with your guides, when you do this, you go back to that early understanding, that higher learning that you may not consciously remember you did, but it's built in. It's like your built-in programming. It's there. And it never left you. Your unconscious, subconscious mind remembers it just like it happened yesterday, like today. So it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just that now you have paused a little bit, and you're more open to being reflective, and you can be reached. Okay, your curiosity has returned. Okay, remember, that's what ignited all this when you were a kid, was that insane curiosity. That curiosity that it just drove you. It was your driving force. You couldn't wait to wake up the next morning and go try and experiment with this other stuff. Where did all those ideas come from? I mean, that was your connection, your communication bridge. That was your relationship with your guides, your friendships, your best friends. That was them there with you, showing you, inspiring you. And it was your choice to act on it or not, your free will. But that's what this really is. So it's similar in that way.
Plus, when you were little, you were always in the moment. When you're a baby, you always do things in the moment. A baby doesn't get up and look at his to-do list for the day.
But when you're in a transition, like what you were talking about,
Right.
where you split off and then you live your life and life happens and then you all get back together again.
Right.
You're more in the moment. You're more open, like you were, like just what Ray just talked about when you were a little baby, when you first had this blissful time frame, this moment to moment, experience with your guides and your angels, when it was really, building that internal compass, that guidance mechanism for you that gave you that baseline, that let you know, only you could know what that baseline is. Because see, this is your life, the one you came here to experience, to become more than you were before you got here, okay? You came here to learn certain things that's different from other people. So that's why your baseline is unique to you. Although we all experienced that early learning, that higher learning, that out of that curiosity and that experimental time in our life, it was unique to each one of us, what we learned, okay?
So it all boils down to, you had it, you had this best friend relationship, you lost it, and now you want to get it back again. And whether it's your spirit guides or your best friends you went through school with and then went your separate ways, the reason that you go back to that because they will understand.
Right.
They had the same experience. They got married, they got divorced. They got married, they got divorced. They got kids. But it's you can tell them anything, and it's the acceptance and the understanding that you get from them and how you feel when you're around them that makes them a best friend. Right?
It does. It's about being able to pick up kind of where you left off and be that honest, authentic, and real with each other. See, what happens over the years as adults, you start having all these facades and all this cover up, and you start, hiding behind your front door, in your house, and you become a hermit, and all kinds of, weird things happen as we get older if we let it take us down that road. So your best friends are there, your old friends are there to bring you back to remember who you were, remember what that was like, remember what we did, remember, blah, 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 blah. Well, what we're doing is we're taking you back a little bit farther, okay? My guided journey, the companion journal to my flagship book, Guided, okay? That's how this came out. The readers of Guided emailed me. They sent me messages. They contacted me through coaching sessions and things like that, where they wanted to learn how to do this, So that's how this came about. And I was even guided to make this available for free on the website for you guys who get it. The ones who have read Guided really do get this and want to reach. Now they got their brain around it. They know how to do this. They now here's the lessons on how to walk you through it so you can achieve it. Okay, that's what this is.
We have some questions and comments.
Okay, Ray.
Stephanie Lomax Canfield. I started hearing and communicating with my guides and my angels through writing. I made the mistake of telling some people in my life, and they said I was crazy or be careful that you may be speaking to demons. This is the Catholic influence, she says.
Right.
So it scared me, but it is always loving when I communicate with them. So do you just keep it to yourself?
Okay, now start that again from the
Okay,
beginning.
she started hearing and communicating with her guides and angels through writing.
Okay, that's what I wanted to catch. First name.
Stephanie.
Stephanie. So glad to have you, Stephanie. Okay, Stephanie. And you're right, that's a Catholic influence and religion, and it's fear-based. And that's really the first lesson in part 2 of guided, page 1 through 18, is fear. And it's the first thing we have you walk through. So, and we help you with in the video we did on fear, okay? You can review it later after we're done with this on this page. When you click on videos, you can go back to the one that says fear. And that would shut down a lot of people. That does actually work very well when somebody wants to control you. And it makes you hold your breath, because you're thinking, did I miss something? Am I doing something wrong? You know, it makes you question yourself, doubt yourself. See, so fear and doubt kind of go together there. And that's one thing that I think you see through it. But you need to go back to that first video we did on fear, okay, on this course. But regarding the writing, when you write is when she say how she
started communicating and hearing.
Okay,
with
through writing.
Guys, through writing.
Okay, now let me just say what I was going to say, because I had to lead up with what I said before I'm just going to tell you this. Is when you write in your journal, when you start with the first one, part 2, page 1, when you first start, what you need to do, all of you, Stephanie, good question, and this is for everybody. You need to write in here what you remember. Watch these videos first. Watch the one we did on fear. Go back to that one. And write in there what you remember, like you're talking to your guides, like you're writing to your guides. That's exactly how you do this. Okay? You are so right on the money with that. Because what you're going to bring through, they're going to help you remember. They were there with you. In fact, they were the only ones there with you when you started out in this life. Everyone else was just tending to your needs. They were changing your diapers, feeding you, bathing you, holding you, putting you to sleep. I mean, they were just doing the things that you need as a human being and love. But your guides, they were there in a very important way that you could refer back to in your life, like you're doing right now. Okay, so write like you're writing directly to your guides. That connection that connection that you have with your guides will be building as you work through your journal.
So as you rebuild it, the second part of her comment was she made a mistake of telling people about her journey, and she's communicating with her guides, and they said, oh, you're communicating with demons.
Well, you already answered your own question. Yes, they said these things to you, okay? But you answered your own question by saying, I made the mistake by talking about it, right? So you already have the answer to that. We don't need to go into that.
When you have a great video on this on your blog called Keep Your Guidance to Yourself.
Yeah, that's another, when you go to the Linda Deir site, you just put into the search, you could just put in Keep Your Guidance to Yourself, and it will bring a blog post up, which has the video and the blog post. And that's, I don't know, it's got over 100 shares. It's a real popular one. So you struck a chord, Stephanie. This thing with Keep Your Guidance to Yourself is big, all right?
People don't want to see you improve.
Well, it's
because they're not improving.
Well, they don't want to be left behind, right?
Well, and they're very judgmental when somebody tries to improve.
That's because they're disconnected.
Right.
It's just two things. They're disconnected, and they've lost their compassion for their fellow man and themselves. All right, so, you know, they're hurting a lot more than we are, right? So we're working on it all the time. We're all a work in progress. But just follow your own advice on that last one. You already know the answer to that.
Okay. Now Lauren's with us.
Great, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, guys. Good to see you. Everything is going great for her in the past couple months.
Oh,
yay.
Yes.
I'm feeling happy and healed and abundant.
Oh.
There's just one thing missing.
I know what it is.
Oh, can you read her mind? Here we go.
A relationship.
I'm wondering if the guides see any lasting relationships developing in my love life in the next 6 months?
I'll tell you what, Lauren. That's a question we answer on Tuesdays. All right.
Yep.
We get those questions because we actually have that conversation with your spirit guide angels in those private sessions we do. Those are very special,
it's personal,
private, intimate sessions we have with you guys. And just for the rest of you, we have what's called Ask the Universal Channel private group. And it's Ask the Universal Channel. It's a product we have that help people make the connection to their guides. And you can always go there and see what the rules are to join. But that's where Lauren is thinking that we do that. So Lauren, come this coming Tuesday, same place, same time.
Ask the same question, because those questions. Some of the people have such personal questions that we don't want to put answers out on this group, which is public.
Okay.
It's none of their business.
It's private. The other one's private. So
right.
Let's catch you on Tuesday. Come back on Tuesday, and we're going to get your guides involved in that, and they're going to answer you directly like they always do, like you're used to, Lauren.
I think your little boy had a birthday too recently. I think I saw that picture.
He's a good boy.
All right. She'll ask again on Tuesday.
Okay.
So that's great. Anybody else have any more questions? Any more examples of where your best friend,
or you've noticed them?
Your best friends have shown up,
right.
Even when you weren't a good best friend, you got away from them, but they never stopped.
Yeah.
Their guides are like a radio that's broadcasting 24/7. Always, the information's always coming.
I'm going to say something. What Ray's talking about. Ray loves our little books. All right.
I like those little books.
Yeah, these little books. This is an addition to guided and my guided journey. These are also available on Amazon. One is called How to Live a Guided Life, First Steps, and How to Live a Guided Life, Meeting the Real You. They're not great big giant books like Guided. Guided's a serious book, okay? So these books were generated.
In Guided, there's 137 lessons and tips and awarenesses and
right.
learnings that the people really loved, 137 of them, and they wanted more of them, actually. So that's where these come in. These are channeled information from Linda's guides, and there's maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs of channeled information, and then a paragraph from Linda about how you apply it in your life.
And so some of the things that come to mind that keep you guys on your path, that keep you on track, that remind you, this is channeled information from the guides in little bites, okay, that remind you about where we get off track sometimes, where we go, oh yeah, okay, got it. And you're off and running again. You're back on track, all right? So these are just to keep your compass true north, okay? That's what these are.
See if anybody else has joined us here. Nope.
Go ahead with your questions, Ray.
My questions, okay. Mutual respect, trust. See, it's a love relationship. Your best friends, it's a love relationship, but there's really no binding commitment. Like when you get married, there's a contract right there, a legal contract.
Okay, here's the difference. I'm going to just skip to I'm just going to go to the cut and dried of this, all right? In this world, you and us and all of us people, we're all in this together at this particular time in our evolution. We all decided to come here en masse to experience a lifetime together, okay? Some of it's rocky, some of it's awesome, some of it's just, passing by. But we all decided to do this together, all right? We all have some kind of a connection, or we wouldn't be here all together at this time. Your guides, where you came from and where you go to when you're done with this life, when you're released from this world, is a constant connection. It's not something that had to go through this life, that came into this single experience to learn with these other people, souls, all right, at this time. So we as people, we've got to, we're in a physical form. We've got to feed it. We've got to shelter it. We've got to clean it. We've got to take care of it. We've got to, go to work and have money to support it. We've got to do all these things that just keep us in a physical body, right? So in the process of doing that, everybody else that's here with us is doing the same thing. So we're all kind of like, we're not, but because there's more people on the planet and things are moving faster, it's like a puppy dish. And instead of there just being a couple puppies at the puppy dish, now there's 50 puppies at the puppy dish. And we're all after the same thing, all right? So it gets more competitive. It can get more competitive. It can get less compassionate. You just get in there and just push everyone out of the way, and you're going to get yours, right? You would not behave like that. You're not under that same kind of pressure before you come here and where you go after you leave. Those kind of pressures are not part of your reality. So we're all in this together, right? This can get ugly. Right? And that's part of the problem. So here we are trying to be dignified. We're taught how to have manners, well, most of us are. And we're taught, how to say please. And we're taught how to do the right things, let's just say, and not do the wrong things. We're taught all those things under the pressure that we're in while we're here in this world. So that's really asking a lot. Now, you don't have those same pressures over there. That's a different reality. No wonder it's easier for them to be your friends, your best friends, always. They're not under the same pressure you are. You signed up for this. Okay. So this is your pressure that you assigned yourself into, and your guides just went, oh my gosh, you're going to do that? Okay, we're there. We're there for you. We got your back. You just have to be listening, be paying attention, be on, so that when we send you those signals, the sweet and sour, letting you know when you're going, oh, it's time to get back on track again. Oh, don't go that direction. Perfect. You got it. That's the sweet spot. We love it. We love your success. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're like they're your team. They're right there supporting you. But they're not here battling this like you are. Okay? So that's why having a best friend in this world is harder. In fact, it's rare, because you love each other. You love each other through all the twists and turns and all the struggle that you find yourself going through sometimes, that best friend just goes, you know what? I love you anyway. I'm here if you need me. Call me. I'll drop everything and come for you. That it happens. It's not common. It's tough. This is not an easy place to be a best friend. All right.
I just had a revelation here, an epiphany, that your spirit guides and your best friends here, they have another thing in common. Your best friends will tell you something that you don't want to hear.
Wow. You know why? Because they trust you. You're just like your guides. They will tell you everything. If you shut it out, it's because you didn't want to hear it. That's your choice. But they still tell you, sweet and sour, right? They tell you because they know that they don't want to see you struggle and suffer. They know you're not supposed to. You didn't come here to do that. So all they do is they say, oh, change your mind, course correction. Tomorrow will be amazing if you just follow the guidance, right? Your best friend tells you something you didn't want to hear. You've got to be able to trust your best friend that you could cry, okay? And they would hold you, okay? That your best friend would have you spend the night and take care of you, that your best friend would do what you needed to have done. Now, are you worthy of having that best friend. Now, the reason I ask you this is because sometimes I see people have best friends. That best friend is a great best friend, and they're not so nice back. It's kind of like a dysfunctional relationship. You see them in marriages a lot, right? Where one person's really, really sweet, and another person, their mate is just awful to them, right? But they stay together. When you have this relationship with your guides, there's none of that stress, like I said, from this world. So that just isn't going to happen. I think you guys all know that. You've had some connection to your guides along the way in your life where you do have some memory that this will extract beautifully. Okay, getting this journal and help you remember what that was. When you are able to be a best friend back to the friend who's truly a best friend to you, that's a baseline. That lets you know how qualified you are to have these best friends in your life. Okay? If you treat the person who treats you like a best friend, if you just treat them like, and you take advantage of them and things like that, your connection to your spirit guides and angels, okay? But when you have that equal compassion and connection to your best friend, you're there for them, and they know it heart and soul, okay? They know that. Your connection to your best friends, that never go anywhere, your spirit guides and angels, is heightened. You're no longer like this, missing signals. Now, with your spirit guides and angels, you're connecting. The bridge has been built. That connection is there. You know how to get calm. You know how to listen. You know how to be humble. You know how to stop yourself.
So they can both give you some great guidance, and you let that free will thing just run rampant and go the other way sometimes.
Sometimes we have to, Ray, because see, that's not a bad thing, by the way. Sometimes, that's how we learn. We come into this life to be a human being, and we learn like that. So it's not always meant to be a smooth ride, but as long as we're learning and we're not just, blowing through it and not paying attention and doing our inner work. You guys, it's important to do this. This is why you're here. You came here to get this done. You came here to understand who you are and why you're here. Your spirit guide angels, they don't need to be the star of your show, but they're here to guide you, to help you see it, to help you remember who you are and why you're here. That's why this is important to go back to the beginning when this relationship with your spirit guides and angels solidified, first became unbreakable. Okay, unbreakable.
Yep. You brought it with you.
You did.
Okay, Denise, observation here. A couple of nights ago, she had a feeling of somebody touching her back, right? It was a physical touch. She could actually feel it, but she was home alone. She's wondering, would that be some kind of signal from her guides, or would that be like a healing, or what?
Yeah.
So here you go. Was it like a tap on your shoulder, or was it like a push?
Answer the question, Denise.
Yeah. Did it feel like a tap, somebody trying to get your attention, or did it feel like they were pushing you?
And what did it feel like to you?
Right.
What was, after it happened, what's the first thing you felt before you got into your analytical mind? So write that into the stream so we can keep that going, Denise. These are the kind of things you want to write into your journal on part 3, the journal page, the part where you print redundant pages to keep your journal going about what's going on in your life right now. That's the question that Denise asked that would go in part 3 of the journal, all right? How she got it, when she got it, how she knew it was her guides, what it felt like, all that, and then what it was, and what was the message, and what action did you take. It walks you through it. You can't miss it when you utilize this, you guys. Okay?
But you have to write it down. It's just like Lynn and I were talking the other day about people when they describe a previous event that happened. They never describe it like it happened.
Right.
They describe it like they think they remember it, but
it's sloppy.
Like they would have liked it to happen.
Okay, you know what this does? This takes the sloppiness out of your life. It makes it razor sharp. At the end of this opening message tonight, I talked about guide you, that once you are ready, the guides guide you with precision. Okay? How does that happen? When you become precise. What Ray just said. You write it down the instant it happened, before you had time to manipulate it, change it into something you wanted it to be. Okay? Don't ever do that. This will keep you from doing that.
Plus 5 years from now, you'll go back and you'll remember, oh yeah, that's exactly what happened.
You will not believe it. You're going to thank us.
Yeah. Here's another thing that dawned on me that we have Denise's answer here, by the way.
Okay, good.
Your spirit guides, best friends, and your best friends here will never say this. I told you so.
Never. Ever.
If somebody says,
ever.
I told you so, they're not a best friend.
No, they're not. They're not. What they are is they're a chastising friend. All right? And that's based in, if any of you have gone to religious schools, you'll know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, if any of you have gone to real regimented, strict schools, you'll know what chastising is. It doesn't feel good. No one wants to be chastised. Okay? So that's not a fun thing. What do we have?
We still have the scars, honey.
Ray, you went to one of the worst. Ray went to the Catholic schools, okay?
Yeah.
The nuns were the most chastised. Okay, what do we have with
And
Miss
then
Denise?
4 years of Jesuit high school. Okay, it was a touch. She was asleep, all right?
Yeah.
She wasn't afraid. It felt kind.
Okay. That was the feeling I got when you talked about it, Denise.
She had a feeling of somebody touching her back. It was a physical touch, but there was nobody there. Would it be one of my guides or some kind of healing touch?
You answered your own question. Don't you love this? Okay, 2 things you said.
Somebody was touching her back. It was a physical touch. She was alone. Would that be my guide or some kind of a healing?
In the future, change it to, that was my guide.
Yeah.
And what's the rest of that sentence say?
Was it some kind of a healing?
No, that was my guide, and it was, rephrase it. Make it a statement, not a question. This is you, Denise.
Yeah.
Say that, read that again.
Would that be a guide or a healing? That was a healing.
Okay. That was a guide. Instead of say, would that be a guide?
Right.
Rephrase it.
That was a guide.
That was a guide.
And it was a healing or a message.
And it was a healing and a message. Okay. What I'm trying to say to you, Denise, is you're getting the information. You're getting the answer. You're interesting. Now, we work with Denise. Denise comes to the Tuesday night sessions many times. And Denise always comes out with, this is what happened. And then she has that little doubt. And she goes, and could it be? And it always is. It's not a could it be. It's like all Denise needs to do is change, and it is, and it was, and this is what it meant. Okay. Instead of going, could it have been? Is that what it was? Is that what they said? Did it mean that? It means it was all true. Okay. The feeling you got, you guys, it's always in the feeling. It's not in the emotion. Emotion is when you get caught up in the turmoil in this world. Okay, the feeling is it's your center of energy. It's the truth giver. It happens so fast that you don't have time to think about it. It's right there. All right. It's the same thing that happened as a kid. You just knew it. Okay. It was a feeling. So she's getting these feelings. They're right on the money. Now, Denise, if you want to look into this a little bit deeper with us, where you have an actual communication from your guides where they speak to you about it, you come on Tuesday in our closed group, Ask the Universal Channel, and we're going to work on that with you, okay? So bring that with you.
You know, the feeling I got as you described it, Denise, is that, you know, when you were little or even now, when you do something good, you get a pat on the back as a sign of approval. You know,
Right, right,
what was your guidance? Good job.
right. That's a good one. But we'll look into that on Tuesday. If you come to the session on Tuesday, we'll cover it then and bring that question with you. I have written a series of videos in support of the readers of my guided journey, the companion journal to my flagship book, Guided. Each week on Facebook Live, I talk about your journey back to the beginning when you first made contact with your spirit guides and angels. They haven't gone anywhere, even if you ignored them or didn't realize that they were there. In these Thursday Facebook Live videos with me, you learn how to journal your hidden knowledge, documenting your life journey, revealing who you are and why you are here. When you follow this, you not only get your life back, but you will never doubt yourself again. And we will see you guys next week.